A rabbi visited campus to talk with students about Jewish-Christian relations in the Middle East. Good day, everyone, and welcome to this edition of your HLGU News Update. I'm Kelsey McCoy. Hannibal-LaGrange University welcomed Rabbi David Nekrutman to campus recently to speak to students and community members. HLGU students who went on a recent Israel trip gathered for a Shabbat dinner, followed by a lecture that was open to the public. The event was organized by student and Passages campus ambassador, Tyler Shipley. In the Middle East, Rabbi Nekrutman works alongside a Palestinian Arab who is also an evangelical pastor. Nekrutman says that he and his center often host Christians in Israel. Nekrutman says the goal of Jewish-Christian relations is simply to have a stronger relationship.
Have the relationship based upon commonalities between Judaism and Christianity, which is sanctification, holiness, and kingdom in the now, but doing that through Scripture, learning together.
Nekrutman brought a serious but light-hearted approach in his lecture. He says that Christians inspire him with their commitment to God, which enables him to be a better Jew. Nekrutman encouraged all Christians not to abandon their faith, but rather to passionately pursue Christ. Nekrutman helped to create Passages, a program for Christian students to visit Israel. He encourages college students to visit the Holy Land and see the Bible come to life.
You read the Bible in black and white. When you come to Israel, it'll be in HD. That's the beauty of Israel. You will come back transformed.
HLGU has taken students to Israel the past 2 years. The students visit the Holy Land during Christmas break. Well, those students who visited Israel over break are back on campus for the start of the spring semester. 39 students from Hannibal-LaGrange University returned from a week-long trip to the Holy Land. They were accompanied by faculty member and an HLGU administrator. Many students say they returned to campus with a new perspective of both the gospel and Israel. Here's Alex Bradley with more on that story.
Foaming seas, new foods, stunning architecture, and beautiful views are just a few things that HLGU students say they loved about Israel. Led by a Jewish tour guide, the group of 30 students traveled to the country of Israel to experience the Holy Land for themselves. Students say the trip both changed and challenged them. HLGU student Erin Prigge says Israel rekindled and grew her faith.
Going into the trip, I was kind of doubtful, just with my faith, and so walking out of it, and just having those moments of being baptized in the Jordan, being on the Sea of Galilee, has helped me make more connections and really strengthened and just affirmed that, this is what I believe, this is why I believe it.
Each day, students were led through new cultural experiences, biblical and historical sites. Students also heard from speakers with different perspectives. Vice President of Academic Administration Dr. Miles Mullen says that one of his favorite sites was Caesarea by the Sea, where the HLGU group ended their 9-day journey in Israel.
I think on our trip, we started in Galilee, and you realize just how small the area where most of Jesus' ministry took place was, even though the gospel was for the whole world. And then we ended our trip in Caesarea by the Sea, which was a port where things went out everywhere. So to kind of, in my mind, that capstoned the gospel, the kind of small focus of the actual ministry of Jesus, but then that was going to go out to all the world.
The group took part in a traditional Shabbat dinner, and some were baptized in the Jordan River by Dr. Mullen and Dr. Turner. And as students were immersed in Israel's culture, the group bonded as a family.
What God showed me that week was when we were at the Garden Tomb. It was very different. It was, Tanner, if I can raise myself from the dead, you can trust me to help you find a job, find a family, and just, you'll be fine. You'll just trust in me, And during that time, I realized during that trip that those people on the bus weren't just my friends. They ended up, including the faculty, they ended up being my family.
The university plans to take another group of about 40 students to the Holy Land next December. If you would like information about the trip, you can contact HLGU faculty member Dr. Eric Turner. His office is located right here in the CMC. Reporting for TNN, I'm Alex Bradley.
In other news, past and present Trojans gathered for winter homecoming. Emma Anderson tells us more about a group of alumni who traveled back to campus to put on their old jerseys and remember their glory days as a student athlete. Here's that story.
HLGU welcomed alumni back to campus recently for 2019 winter homecoming. Activities included a basketball skills contest, a special lunch for alumni and their families, and of course, the men's and women's alumni games. Cindy Pierce, a 2013 graduate, has played in the women's alumni game for 6 years. Pierce says homecoming is a special way for alum to reconnect.
I love it. It's just awesome just to hear how they're doing, see their families, how they've grown, and just to hug one another and catch up. It's my favorite thing.
12 ladies hit the court this year for the women's game. The men's game also had several participants. HLGU alum Kyla Artisan says these alumni-driven events are perfect for revisiting old memories.
Just reliving the old times. I mean, our battles on the court, off the court, our friendships, and we all pretty much still keep in contact. So it's definitely the friendship factor is what I look forward to.
Demetrius Early is a 2018 graduate. He played in his first alumni basketball game this year. For Early, it is more than just coming back to see familiar faces. It is all about the competition.
I want to score on somebody. Mostly Coach Pickett. I think he's going to guard me, so I'm going to try to go at him.
Many of the alumni stayed to watch the HLGU men's and women's games later in the day against Williams Baptist University. The Trojan ladies lost their contest with a score of 67-51. The men won their game with a score of 70-56. Reporting for TNN, I'm Emma Anderson.
We will head back to Emma a little bit later in our sports segment for some basketball highlights. But first, a story about some changes in the CAF. Students at HLGU say they are excited about new cafeteria hours and a few more food options on campus. Fresh Ideas Chef Robert says the staff is working hard inside and outside of the kitchen, making sure that students' input is being heard. Student suggestion has prompted new condiments and additional ice cream toppings.
I've been working on updating our menus so that we're doing a little more trendy things, but I would be very happy to hear anything that they'd like to know or like to have out here. I'll do my best to have it for you.
To check out the new cafeteria hours, you can go to the HLGU Facebook dining page. Now let's send it back over to Emma Anderson with a look at sports.
Thanks, Kelsey. The HLGU Lady Trojan basketball team hosted the Freed-Hardeman Lions on First Responder Night. The Lions are ranked #1 in the nation in NAIA Division I. The Trojans fought hard, but ended up falling to the powerhouse Lions 84-33. Freed-Hardeman put on a shooting clinic, shooting exactly 50% from the floor as a team. Hannibal-LaGrange senior guard Maritza Chavez talks about what it was like to match up against the nation's best.
I think it's really easy to get down in a game like this because they are so good, and we know that going in, but realizing that we have to execute the things that we know how to do.
The Lady Trojans have only 4 home games remaining, including Senior Day on February 23rd. Make sure to come out and support your Trojans as they wrap up their season. The Hannibal-LaGrange University men's basketball team finished its season sweep over Freed-Hardeman on First Responder Night. The Trojans won by a score of 68-64 for another American Midwest Conference victory. Tyrone Hewitt led the Trojans with 18 points and 4 blocks. Brady Smith also added 17 points and 9 assists. The Trojans showcased their ability to knock down shots by shooting 51% from the field as a team. Freshman point guard Michael Hood gave credit to his teammates for yet another gritty win.
We might not have as much talent as them, but our hard work and our determination as a group, like a family, I feel like that's going to help us out way more than talent would.
HLGU is currently in 4th place and has a favorable schedule to continue to climb the ranks. Make sure to come and support the Trojans as they finish up regular season play. During that recent game against Freed-Hardeman, HLGU honored local first responders. First responder Mark Kempker says it feels great to have the college recognize all of the first responders for their hard work.
It's a great opportunity for us to serve in this community and have Hannibal-LaGrange University support our first responders in all roles that we conduct.
First responders from all Hannibal and Marion County Fire, Police, Highway Patrol, HLGU Public Safety, and EMTs were invited to the game. As the basketball season wraps up, here's a few important athletic dates coming up. HLGU will host their corporate sponsor night on February 7th at the Mabee Sports Complex. Hoops for Hope, a basketball game that raises money to fight cancer, is scheduled for February 14th. So bring your Valentine's Day out for a great night of basketball. And don't forget to show some support for our Trojans on Senior Day. That is happening on February 23rd. We play MOBAP that day. The ladies' game is at 1 o'clock. The men play at 3 o'clock. That is what's happening in sports. Let's send it back over to Kelsey McCoy.
Thanks, Emma. That's all the time we have for this edition of your HLGU News Update. Until next time, I'm Kelsey McCoy.